broadcasting from a shack on a hill in the Mossy Creek bottoms of Cane Creek, Arkansas. This is Lighting the Void live. I almost said something that ain't real yet, but we're hoping to make it real. Got a little bit of an announcement to make, and then we'll get on with Far Journeys. A couple of things. I don't know if you guys had been listening to the show a long time ago, but a long time ago we used to have a friend of mine that would come on here. His name was Jeff Gilson, and he did Gilson News. And Gilson News was just a thing we did. He did the news report here live on the station, and it was great. Jeff has been my friend since I was, God, I don't know, 20 or earlier, probably sooner, like the years that I got into construction. So what I'd like to do is, if everybody can, send their love, prayers, positive vibes out to Jeff because he's in the hospital. They found a mass in his chest, and, he's a good friend of mine. So all the love and prayers and positive vibes, that stuff that we've done here has totally worked whenever we've sent that out for people. Okay, I just want to get that. I want to say that first, okay? Because, this is the kind of guy that's like, I don't know how many of you guys have like a really good friend that's been there your whole life for you. But if you do, you're blessed. And any positive thing, anything you guys can send him would be great. All right? And I appreciate it. So I got Bryce, I almost called you Bryce Aroni. You're here. You're still here, aren't you? Because I want you to be here when I announce the thing. So first, here's the announcement. Here's part of the announcement. It's fall. Halloween's coming up. As you well know, Halloween's about to happen. It's not anything too extravagant. But before I say this, I will say that if you go to the store and you buy those Little Debbie's, it's a bag of Little Debbie's. You shouldn't eat them, especially if you're trying to lose weight like me. You should not eat them. But they come from the hands of Satan themselves. These things are so good. They're like, they're called pumpkin Little Debbie donuts. They're the fall blend of the powdered donuts. Freaking amazing. And I love the fall. I love this time of year. I wish this time of year would just go straight to October the 31st, wrap back around to spring, and start all over. I hate the winter, but this is my favorite time of year. So with that being said, we are planning, but we need your help, okay? Here's the catch. We need your help. So we're planning on, a reboot for the Fringe FM and doing a Halloween special. All the way from, I would say the day before Halloween till now, but we need to get the radio station up and running. So we have an anonymous benefactor that stated this. We don't have to raise much. We only need to raise like $100 to get the station up. This anonymous benefactor pretty much stated that if whatever you donate towards the end, I would say today, tomorrow, maybe the next day, depending on how this goes, he'll match it. So we really only got to raise like $50. That's it, to get it back on. So if you guys can help with that, do it. If you can't, don't. But it's going to be worth it because we're going to be broadcasting. What I would like to do is broadcast from this Halloween on for the rest of my freaking life and every Halloween after. But we've got a pretty cool Halloween special, and I talked to some people and some other people that are Fringe FMers would really like to get involved and entertain you. So, two things. If you plan on donating, don't do it through YouTube because that takes about 3 months to come through. But if you plan on doing it, you could do it through Patreon. You could do it through PayPal or whatever, Fringe FM, Cash App, all those links. You could donate through that, and everything's going to go towards the radio station. We'll get it back on. We'll get the programs running again, and we'll do your Halloween special. So you know now, Sudi, it is your fault because it was your idea. It wasn't really your idea, but it was something we wanted to do, Everybody, a lot of people, I've gotten a lot of messages from a lot of people that miss the Fringe FM, man. And it's got to happen. It's going to happen. And we'd love you to be a part of it. All right? So that's the announcement. You thought it was going to be something crazier and bigger than that, maybe? There's nothing bigger than the Fringe FM. Nothing. All right, we're going to get back into Far Journeys. Rainbow Route is where we left off. I know it sounds like a title. We're about to talk about some woo stuff, but it's really not that. It's not woo at all. And here, let me make sure that we understand where we're at in this road, because this is a freaking crazy, like, I don't know. This is a crazy book, Far Journeys. It's nutty. I've got a lot of feedback from this one, more on this one than the book before, actually. And, oh, yeah. And Jeff very much appreciates any prayers that you guys send him. It's really weird, man. I've had a lot of, I don't know if you ever had one of those days where you've had like a ton of freaking synchros happen. Today was one of those days, right? Like maybe it's just the Halloween time. Maybe it's fall. I don't know. Maybe it's this time of year, but you know. Yeah, Cash App it's in the links in the, it's like hashtag capital F, and it's just Fringe and then capital FM. So I'll put that in there for you. Like this. That's what it looks like. Because we're gonna start programming this right away. And Alex Exum's audio dramas are coming back. These things are amazing, by the way. I've never seen anybody put so much, before we get into the book, I've never seen anybody put so much freaking work into the producing audio dramas the way he does. Sasquatch. What was it? Like the Sasquatch? Oh, yeah. It's all in the links here. The fringefm@gmail.com is the PayPal. It's all in the links, right? But appreciate you guys so much. Alex Exum hires actors and actresses. He puts his heart and soul into these Halloween audio dramas. And this is just one part of the Halloween special. One part that we're going to do. And the skits are like amazing. So anything that, if you guys have heard what was the past Halloweens that we did the very first one was awesome. It was called Interview with the Sasquatch. The second one was, I think it was the Diabolical Dr. Stein. I'm probably getting them mixed up in order. Manner of Death. Karen was a good one. And then one where he like falls in love with this chick and then she dies and then he tries to bring her back to life. And it's really fun to listen to them. And then I have my own skits that I do too with like pretend voices and stuff. But we want to just work on making it better and better and better. So each year what we'd like to do is just kind of take over the world and have everybody listening to the Fringe FM on Halloween and then 24/7 on after that. You know, that would be pretty dope. Don't you think, Bryce? That'd be dope.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm excited, man. I want the Fringe to come back, dude. I really do.
Bryce was one of those people I went to. I was like, hey, man, I'm thinking about like I've been depressed for a couple of years, man. I've just been thinking about like bringing back the Fringe FM and just doing it until I'm dead. And you know what? Bryce didn't say two words, right? The only thing that came out of his mouth was he paused for a second and he goes, thank you. That's what it's like, is it that bad? Is the radio gone that bad that it's just non-existent anymore, that it just sucks? You know, like no one's doing anything cool? I mean, you ain't got to, not to put anything down, but is it that bad, Bryce? I haven't checked it out lately as far as like talk shows go.
It's like I said earlier, it's like 100% music. It's like there's not a whole lot else going on, at least not in my area. So yeah, I mean, I like that prospect, man. Getting a little bit of variety in there.
Okay, so with that being said, too, like Sudi just threw in 25. Thank you, Sudi. Thank you. With that being said, that's gonna change this show a little bit too. That's another announcement I wanted to take. This show's not going to change as far as us broadcasting every night, but like doing the YouTube thing where we just kind of, you know, just do like a YouTube talk or whatever. Like it's not going to be like that anymore. It's going to be more like radio styled. We can still go through audiobooks. We can still talk to guests. We can still do all that, but it'll be more formatted towards radio. Plus, on the Fringe FM, when we get it going, we can play whatever music we want. We don't have to worry about, like, as far as bumper music's concerned. Whatever the hell we want to play, we can play it, you know. What's up, Howard? Long time no see, brother. All right. So, looks like Sudi just dropped 25. April dropped 10. Thank you, April. Appreciate that so much. Yeah, even Dave Cruz hit me up today. I remember when we first made that station, it was like me and Dave Cruz. It was like 2017. And we were thinking about building a radio station, and I was studying radio. Like, I just come off this project in Arkansas where people were trying. It's a whole thing called Our City Radio, but it never worked out. And we were trying to come up with names for it. And it was Dave. He's like, what about thefringe.com? And I'm like, well, what about the Fringe FM? And then eventually it got to where, like, drop the and just put fringe.fm. And it took off. And one more favor I got to ask you guys too. If you can, subscribe to the Fringe FM YouTube channel. We don't need everybody to subscribe. We just need 500 for some stupid reason. I don't know what this reason is. We need 500 people to subscribe to the Fringe FM YouTube channel. That way we can link that YouTube with the website, and then eventually we'll get the app back and all that stuff, you know. Howard says, let me drop some support too. Still appreciate your content, man. Even still taking notes. Life is busy. Yeah, it is. I appreciate you being here. All right, let's get into the weird and the strange with Robert Monroe. So where's these slides? Remember, there is a thing in this book called nonverbal communication. Thank you guys for the donations. Thank you. That's going to help us get it turned back on and going so we can get the Halloween show ready for you. There's a thing that Robert Monroe calls nonverbal communication, which means he's come up with his own words to communicate to these entities and conscious beings and things like that he's running into while he's out of body. So what I'm going to do is every now and then I'm going to switch this over so that you guys can see when he says certain words, what the hell they mean. Right? Like rote means a thought ball, a download, a packet, knowledge, or something like that. Run the rote means to recall portions of the rote after the recept of it. Things like that, you know. What is that, man? Thanks for the donation. Appreciate it, brother. It's 1,000 of something. It's not dollar bills, but I know it's good. I appreciate it, brother. Thank you. Flickered, uncertain. So what I'm saying is, it's going to be weird. So while I'm reading, if this helps you guys, let me know. I'll keep this slide thing open so that you can understand what he's saying. Thanks, Howard. Appreciate you, brother. That's $100. $100 to the YouTube thing. Appreciate it, man. Seriously. Thank you. All right. Well, the station will be back on momentarily. I'm pretty sure of that now. So thank you guys. Love you. That's so cool, man. All we had to do is ask for your help and you came through. This is really cool. I love you guys, man. We'll get it back going. All right. So if I have to, I need somebody in chat or even you, Bryce, to tell me, like, hey, man, I don't understand what he just said. Or what does that mean? I'll totally stop and explain it. Okay. So this one's called Rainbow Route. Damn, Howard. Thanks, brother. Shit. I wish I had that. Here we go. We'll just do a little crowd surge for you guys. Yeah, there we go. Now, remember, back when in the previous chapter, he's actually trying to figure out what the meaning to existence is and all this other stuff, and he's talked to this being that's telling him about consciousness and these outer rings and the nature of everything and all this stuff, and so. He's starting to feel kind of special, I think, at this point. Like I have a new role of like maybe some kind of conscious guide or something or whatever he called it. A new role of being a conscious explorer to find out the answers. So Rainbow Route starts like this. At this point, I began to accept my new role, and whatever it was, no longer pushed hard for further adventures or activities and other energy systems I knew to exist. I did realize that in my sleep state, much was taking place which affected my conscious thought and action. I made no effort to investigate this, believing that it would take care of itself and was supportive of the course I was following. If I had resumed the sleepers classes, hopefully I was applying what I learned in my daily life, which is kind of weird. Remember, he remembered going to this sleepers class. Thanks, Howard. Thanks for becoming a member, brother. That helps too. Appreciate it, brother. And he said that he saw lots, like thousands of beings, gray, like they're in this gray mass. Some of us might be going to it and not even know it, of this class of like people that are asleep and they're learning about stuff while they're asleep. Who the hell knows what they're learning though? Spaced through several years of time were periodic meetings, instruction sessions with the InSpec. That was the alien guide thing, whatever was teaching him. I still use this ident because I knew of no other appropriate one that was not tainted with cultural, philosophical connotations. Ident means I still use his name, InSpec. The most recent InSpec event precipitated the gathering of all my notes of the interim adventures and the pieces filled in the mosaic. The following is no more than a survey of the salient or critical parts of the sequence. In the interest of brevity and feeling of getting to the pointism, the usual preamble and closure as to going out of body and returning to the physical are omitted except when highly relevant. Each of the following events began at the point and non-time space near the edge of InSpec territory, with at least one of them present. Okay. And then it's click. So he says click. So we're about to change consciousness here. But remember, he said he's going to the edge of this consciousness, or these outer rings of consciousness, to speak to this InSpec, or one of many of them. If I have a desire or curiosity, no, more than curiosity, it would be to know, but not believe, but know what is beyond this point, where these InSpecs are, where they are. And the InSpec answers, it is a question of remembering. As you are at this point, you cannot, the word, tolerate a visit among us. We can prepare you for it if that is your wish, but the preparation is not simple. So he's wanting to go where they're from. When they state it's not simple, I knew it was an understatement from my perspective, but it was what I wanted. Yes, I want to go see where you're from. So the voice says, we will make the adjustments necessary in your space-time belief. The perception must be yours alone. Click. Now he's changed consciousness again. I'm playing out in the front yard, riding my tricycle on and off the sidewalk and into the grass. The sun has gone out behind a cloud, but it hasn't started to rain. I think if it gets dark, I can light the candle in my tin can headlight, but I'll have to go in the kitchen and get some matches. When I get bigger, I'm going to have me a blue car that goes arr, arr. And then I'm going to have an airplane that what I want most, an airplane, so I can fly up through the dark cloud, up where the sun is shining behind it. And then I could go up and dive through the cloud. Wee-oo, wee-oo. He's like a little kid now. Oh, shoot, it's starting to rain. I'll have to go in the house. And just one more circle in the yard, I have my airplane. Wee-oo, wee-oo. A big flash of light, white light, lightning. Bang! I'm off my tricycle in the grass, and the grass is wet. I got to get up and get in the house, get my tricycle on the porch so it won't get wet. But I can't move. I can't move. What's the matter? It's dark. I can't see. I can't feel anything. But I'm not hurt. I don't hurt anywhere, but I can't see. I can't get my face out of the grass. I got to get up. My bike will get wet and it'll just rust. I got to get it on the porch, but I can't move. I can't move. What? Just balloon it and go to the porch. Beeloon it and go to the beeline it. I think it's beeline. Just beeline it and go to the porch. How could I forget that? How could I forget to beeline? What would make me forget something so basic? Yes, beeline can do it without thinking how. And it's spelled B-E-L-O-O-N. But I don't know if that's a beeloon. But beeloon can do it without thinking how. Anybody can beeloon. And yes, three-way. I could do a three-way and it wouldn't be dark. Why, any curl can do a three-way without turning. You need a three-way if you want to keep your spiral going. And what happened to me that I would forget such a simple thing as that? I could pull a skip. Yeah, and a skip, and there's more. It's all coming back. I remember it all and those important fundamentals that I thought about forgetting because it was impossible. It is as basic as who you are. How is it possible that I forgot these, all the rest that I know? I am astounded that I could forget. Forget. I'm getting wet. It's raining hard. I'm getting muddy. That big bang was thunder and it hurt my ears. But I can hear and I can move. I feel but I don't hurt. So I guess I'm all right. I got to get my bike on the porch and get a rag and wipe the water and mud off. Click. So that's crazy. So the inspects took him back to a place when he was a kid and he got struck by lightning and it knocked him on his ass and it changed his consciousness so much he started remembering all these different vibratorial things before he was even a human, like how to get his energy back and all this other stuff. So he clicks back. Oh, now I remember. I was very young playing out in front of the house before a thunderstorm. The lightning hit a power pole near the street, not me, my father told me. The concussion or something stunned me, and he carried me up to the front porch. I was all right in a few minutes, but the rest of it, I had forgotten completely. Even now, I just remember the knowing, not the details. And the voice, or the inspect, tells him, a glimpse of who you are before you undertake the human experience. How it took place is not important. Such momentary recall occurs frequently during the physical process, but it's obscured and discarded amid the more immediate consistent impact of physical information input. Yet the event is retained and below the surface of consciousness and therefore affects your subsequent action. It is significant that thenceforth you did not fear lightning and thunder, as you call it, but found pleasure in such manifestation. This is one effect of such pre-human recall, brought near your physical conscious level. Another more cogent was the subtle alteration in your physical life process that led you unknowingly to your present state. Well, Robert says, I hope that doesn't mean that everyone has to get almost struck by lightning to begin to wake up. It would be a very popular method, or wouldn't be a very popular method. And the voice says, most such events are so gentle as to remain unnoticed, yet they are there if recall is necessary. We have another episode for you if you desire it. Well, how can I forget these things? Robert says. Yes. And the voice said, here's another area of your perception that is a part of the emergence you have long forgotten. It is completely your own. We do no more than assist you in your recall. Click. Click. I want to hear the music. I want to hear the special music. I know how to make the Victrola play the music because I learned how. I learned how just from watching, and then she watched me show her how I could play it. And then she said I could play it, but I had to be real careful so I don't break the records. So I'm not being bad if I play it. I pulled the chair over close to the Victrola so I can stand in it or stand on it and put the record in the top. I have to lift up the heavy lid, but I do it. I turn the shiny crank in the side more and more until it won't crank anymore. But I don't crank it after that because it might break the spring. And then I open the front doors of the Victrola, and there is my special music record on the first shelf just where I left it. Pull the record out and be real careful to don't break it, and put it up on the top. Then I climb up on the chair, I pull the paper cover off the record and put the record on the wheel. Then I put the shiny fat arm part with the sharp needle in it down real careful on the edge of the black record. Now everything's ready. I move the little shiny finger and the wheel with the black record on it starts moving, and I hurry down off the chair to where the music is. The music starts coming out of the Victrola, and I feel real quiet, so I close my eyes. It's blank for a long time as I listen to the music, but then I feel a surge way down at the bottom of me, and it feels like tingling when my foot goes to sleep. But it doesn't hurt. It feels good. And with that, I hear raining, just like rain on the roof. But it comes and goes, and the music gets so soft I can't hear it anymore. Then it's quiet, and I can't hear or feel anything. There it is again, coming up from the bottom of me, more the tingle and the rain surge. It feels better than anything I ever felt, and I wait for it to happen again. Here it comes again, stronger and bigger, and it feels so good it starts to hurt, but I don't mind the hurt because it feels so good. Then it fades away again. I know it's coming back, and it does, much, much stronger and bigger up through me. The best and happiest feelings I could ever have. So happy I want to cry. And the hurt is so strong it's cutting me up right the middle in two pieces. And then it goes back again, down and out the bottom of me. And I know that there is nothing nicer I will ever feel than what just happened. But no hurt could hurt more than what I just felt as well, and I feel it rising again, and I don't think I could stand it if it was any stronger, but there it is, getting bigger and stronger. That good tingle and the rain roar, but it hurt so hard coming right up to my head. Terrible, sharp hurt. This is so good and so hurting, there can't ever be anything that feels so good and hurts so much. Never. He's talking like a kid, too. Then it starts to go away, and I know that I will always remember this bright good and the big hurt, and nothing will ever be as good or hurt so much. But there it comes again. No, I can't stand it again. I can't. The good makes me cry, it's so good, and the hurt makes me cry, it hurts so much. It can't be more than one. Before, it was the biggest there is, and it can't be any bigger, the good and the hurt, but it is, and I scream with joy and pain, and I know this is the greatest of all there is, the exquisite joy, beauty that transcends any thought or consciousness, and the pain that is merely the anguish of physical structure attempting to contain energy beyond the ability to do so. That one day I will experience it again without the pain, because I will understand better. One day it will take place, the great glory of, and then I feel hands picking me up and I'm crying a little. Not too much, and I open my eyes and raise my head. The music in the Victrola has stopped, and she, my mother, is looking at me and saying something. Click. So he just changed consciousness again. That sounded like he went back to another thing, like right when he was a toddler. You know, yes, I remember that. I remember what a great privilege I felt it was to have been given permission to play that, to play the Victrola, and I proudly never broke a single record. There's symphonies, operas my mother liked, plus some saxophone jazz records the college student who roomed upstairs gave me, which I played when no one was listening but me, and I remember the same sequence when we were going under anesthesia before surgery, that identical pattern. And then the voice says to Robert, "The acceptance of pain as a condition of joy is the symbol of conflict within physical life existence. The pattern of the present is not consistent with the promise of the future as you perceive it with time-space illusion, a conflict of realities from your aspect." And Robert goes on to say, "I remember so well. If that is the joy, I will take the pain again if I can stand it." And the voice said, or the inspect says, "It's not necessary. Your present consciousness now has a beginning point of reference. It is possible for you to perceive the destination of the rays of pure energy you have called loosh or love as it penetrates into your earth space and several segments of what you call time. We will assist you in your placement with the event. The delineation or the decision to distinguish must be yours solely. Are you ready to do this?" Well, I don't know positively what I will be looking for, but I'll never forget again. If that's what I seek, I guess I will find it. Click. Another change in consciousness here. Let me go back to these slides. Yeah, it's definitely like his inner child is, they're making him remember things that he went through. All right, so click. The sun is setting, and I'm sitting alone in the sand outside our tent. The desert is cooling now, and soon it will be dark and it will become very cold. I've built a fire from camel dung so that we will be warm. Yes, I am Shola, and my woman and our 2 offspring, a boy and a girl, are in a tent behind me. We're dying, and I can see the village in the distance, and the cooking fires are glowing in the twilight. We came with goods to trade, but they could not let us enter. They cast stones at us to keep us away. We could not go across the desert to another village because we had little water and we are ill. And now after these many days, we have no water and no food. We survived this far only by eating camel dung, something only a dog would do. Our 2 camels will live and we will die. They cannot catch the illness, the plague that brings the open sores on our skin which do not heal. I would kill the camels to eat, but they are old friends. We do not eat old friends to continue our own existence. It does not matter now. Food and water will not help. The illness is taking us along the course to death, and there's nothing to be done. I do not want to crawl into the tent for fear they are gone, all of my family. I do not want to know that I am alone. We've done so many things together, the pains and the joys we've shared, the workings and the beings together, my woman and the young ones. No illness, no death can remove the bond that grew and blossomed among us. Click. I can still feel the echoes. It's a life I don't remember. If I lived that life, if I lived it, but the sharing of purpose, of unity required for simple survival, nothing more than that can bring it out. The attachment beyond husband, wife, and parenthood, that I do remember. And then the voice says, or the inspec, well, beyond physical manifestation, misinterpreted, misunderstood, and often overlooked, this is a facet of the prime expression. It is a part of the learning process peculiar to the human experience. Wait, this is the goal in being human? To learn or to be this? And the inspec says, indirectly, that is correct. It is part of a broad spectrum. One goal is to become the generator and transformer of such radiation. It is important that you perceive the scope and attunement of the recipient. The being on the desert was attuned and therefore was only the recipient, but neither transformer nor generator. The goal is generation and transformation only. Do you desire this pattern of perception to continue? Well, Robert said, if I have smoothed enough to do so. And the voice says, you have. Click. We're lying around the protective defense circle of the encampment. It is night. Our bellies are full and our feet hurt from the long march. The fallen leaves are dry and they make a noise when we roll over. This would be bad if we were the outer guards, but we need not concern ourselves. The outer guards will sound the alarm if the enemy attacks by night. My helmet is close to my left hand, as in my shield, so is my shield. Near my right is my curie, whose cold, sharp point and keen cutting edges have become as much part of me as the arm that wields it. On one side of me is my friend Chetty, who snores so loudly in his sleep that he awakens the birds. On the other is my friend Dorn, who sleeps like death itself, yet is instantly awake at the whisper of his name. We are a part of this great host who will in the morrow meet and cut our enemy to pieces. We are three. I recall well the day we met on the training ground. Many seasons past. Chetty, tall and stumbling from the high mountains, Dorn, solid as stone from the great forest, and I from the Midlands. Not a word was spoken among us for days as we learned the killing arts. How that changed with our first battle, the moment we formed a triangle back to back, surrounded by twice our number of yellow hairs. Chetty calling out such stupid curses at the yellow hairs that even Dorn was laughing, and laughing gave us fresh energy, so we fought our way out of the trap. And we were three. And through the battles, the wounds, many of both, too many from such as me to count, we are three. They are more to me than my brothers, whose face and voice I can now bring to mind, more than any woman I've ever known, yet not the same. And the man in the village who asked me about my sons and daughters, I replied, I don't know my sons and daughters, if I have any. They go with a woman, and I have no woman. I am of the Legion, so I have no woman or sons and daughters to whom I'm bonded. Just those women I can bed down when we capture a town. But there was one. She was warm and did not scream, but whispered in my ear, and I was gentle as I could be with her. I might have bonded with her, but we are three, and it's different. I would lay down my life for Chetty or Dorn, that they would live instead of me, and I know without their speaking that it's the same with them. I do not understand why this is so, but they are me and I am them, and we are three. Click. Yeah, I have the precept there. 300, 3,000, 3 million, 3 billion, it's all the same. Common effort, willingly or not. Long association, repeated shared experience. This special bonding beyond self can take place without awareness of what it is or its importance. Often it can be called love because local custom would then attach a physical, often it can't be called love actually because local custom would then attach a physical sexual inference to it, male or female, but thus it's covered over and sublimated. And the inspec said, you're learning rapidly. Your human perspective serves you well. Do you wish to move to the next point in your survey? Robert said, well, I understand what is happening, the human portion. If it is still of the value, I guess I'm fine. And then the inspec says, okay, we'll continue then. Click. I'm standing in front of a stone building with a tall spire. Wide steps lead down to the cobbled square, and the square is filled with a flow of people. horse-drawn wagons and carts, and the dusty smell of human sweat, animals, cooking, and the excrement from all manner of living things. I'm a priest, and although it is hot, I'm wearing my brown hooded robe that reaches to my ankles. It's cool inside the church, yet I am loath to enter. The ritual is about to begin, and I must attend and participate as part of the duties of my calling. I'm sick in heart at what I must do. It is so different from that which I dreamed those years ago. My life in the service of the Almighty, the glory of the tolling bell in the spire, the rich voices of the choir echoing throughout the arched roof in holy harmony. The majesty and mystery of the processional, the bowed heads of the reverent, kneeling people, they are the same. These are the parts that brought open the rising need in me, and I answered. Now they are the same, but I am not. Where is the need? It is left unfulfilled. Where is the mystery? It has vanished under the weight of the unfolding years and that which my eyes have seen and my ears have heard. The bell begins its tolling, and that is the signal that I must enter and join the others. I turn and pass through the smaller door to one side into the great hall. Yeah, I already got a bad feeling about this already. You know, we do not eat our friends to continue our existence. Yeah, that's funny he said that. I turn and pass through the smaller door to one side and into the great hall. I move slowly down the main aisle to the waiting group at the altar. The high priest stands in front of the altar, wearing his white robe with golden braided symbols across the front. On his head is the holy crescent moon, and behind him are the 7 keepers of the realm, each holding a staff atop which is one of the 7 sacred stars lighted by a flaming taper. As I approach the altar, I know what I will see upon it, and I'm correct. A young girl attired in a flowing gown of bright red to hide the blood which is lying upon the stone surface. Silken cords are attached to her ankles and wrists, and then to large rings on the sides of the altar. I know well the ritual, although I have never performed it. Once I have completed the sacred act in the name of the Almighty, I will transcend that status of a lowly priest and become an alternate keeper of the realm. When one of the 7 dies and departs for Shemun, the land of eternal joy and the throne of the Almighty, I will become one of the 7. And when the high priest departs, one of the 7 will take his place and assume his power and glory as the direct communicant with the Almighty. Perhaps I might be that one, but now I'm not sure. The dream of years past flickers with me, and it's not this. If I do not perform the ritual, I will be stripped of my robe, cast out into the street where I will be stoned to death by the populace. I move next to the altar, and the high priest hands me the ritual blade, a slender, sharply pointed knife with a carved silver handle. I've been instructed carefully where to insert the ritual knife at various spots on her body so as to keep from causing her death immediately, but to engender exquisite ecstasy with her while the high priest and the 7 give their blessings. I raise the blade for the first swift insertion, and I stop, arm upraised. I am looking into the eyes of the girl, and in them are fear, puzzlement, resignation, and beyond these a knowing or a depth that carries me past the distortion of my dream and into what I was sure was always there. I lower my arm, turn, and drop the silver knife. Only a knife, in front of the fat man who calls himself a high priest. I cannot do it. No, I will not do it. And I am free. And a bright white ray comes through the ceiling of the great hall and centers on me, flashes through my entire being. The silver knife melts to a mound of metal, and the silk cords drop from the girl, and the altar trembles and splits open as the girl rises from it and stands. The men in the robes kneel transfixed, and their eyes staring into blindness at the brilliant white ray. Click. Yes, and somewhere in man's history a legend is born. The event is only a dim memory of me, even if that... But the emotion I felt, I experienced, that's very clear and strong. And then the voice said, or the inspect says, what you call emotion is essential to the basic learning process. It is a specific, observable result of exposure to the louche or love radiation. Therefore, it is the driving force, the creative energy which motivates human thought and action. Without it, you would remain as animals. But animals show something. It is very close to what I know of as emotion. The inspect says, what you perceive is a reflection, a response to human radiation of such energy which has been self-generated or transformed by the human. We will demonstrate this for you if you wish. Well, that would be great. I would enjoy that very much. We shall see, as you put it. Click. Okay, so we're about to find out how animals work consciously, I guess. That's interesting. All right. Our little dog with the funny name Steamboat, he's walking with me along the road in the early morning. He is such a friend. His bright gladness at seeing me. He actually grins when he wants you to know what a nice guy he is. And just because that's what his human close by does. Wait, hold on a second. He actually grins when he wants you to know what a nice guy he is, just because that's what his human close by God does. Okay. His human close by God. His seeming need to be with you enthusiastically, do what you want to do. Just a word from me, and he comes running to me joyfully. It's much more than that. The fact I feed him. It's just more than the fact that I feed him. So most of what we do has no relationship to such. We have a bond that might be called friendship. He succeeded in making friends with his God, doing things together. That's pretty good stuff. Making friends with your God. Now he's been diverted into the wooded bank alongside the road, eagerly seeking an ever-elusive rabbit. But after a short search, he will return, bounding across the road to walk just in front of me again. And then I hear a vehicle, a car or truck. It's approaching behind the blind curve, and I called a Steamboat to come to me, stand and be where it's safe. It's a truck, and it comes around the curve quickly, too quickly. Just 10 feet away from passing me, Steamboat leaps down the bank from the woods and directly under the wheels of the truck. There is a rending scream as the wheel grinds over the lower half of his body, flattening it completely. The truck moves away and stops, and the driver gets down from his cab, sadly apologetic. I get to where Steamboat is, still trying to come to me, his front legs trying to drag the crushed half body across the road to where I am. I sit down on the road in front of him, and he stops trying to move as I reach out and rub his head. Tears forming in my eyes as minuscule evidence of the deep sorrow within me. And through my hand, I feel the heavy tremors moving through his body from the pain, and he licks my hand and looks up at me, asking, hoping his God will take care of the pain. I look at his body, the damage so irreparable, there is no hope. But he licks my hand again, and I accept the responsibility. I get up and move to the waiting truck driver, removing my pullover shirt as I go. I look passes between us, and he knows what I do, that I do not blame him, that he should harbor no guilt for hitting him. Sadness shared, yes, but no guilt. I was responsible, not him. I moved to the truck, removed the cap from the gas tank, and pushed the shirt into the tank, soaking it with fluid. Then I removed the dripping cloth and moved back to Steamboat, who watched me expectantly, too weak to do anything else. I sit down, and his head droops into my lap, eyes looking up to me, asking gently. I move the cloth over his nose with one hand and place the other on his head. His eyes look at me deeply, and the tremors in his neck subside slowly and are gone. I see and know the closeness we shared is eternal, and he somehow knows this too. The conscious awareness in his eyes dims, and he's gone. And they are only eyes with my tears in them now. Click. Wait, but that didn't happen. Steamboat is alive. He's back where I came from, somewhere near my physical body. And then the inspect says, that's correct. The event occurred earlier in this physical life. A different animal, dog as you call them. You identified it as your present attachment. In the earlier episode, uncontrolled emotion overwhelmed you, and you were helpless. You did nothing to fulfill your responsibility. In your present state of awareness, you exercise the control that is so important, which displays your growing ability even in your synthesized demonstration. The paradox attached to such vital energy, emotion as you call it, is the opportunity for growth. It provides and the simultaneously possibility of stasis and retrogression. That makes no sense to me. The paradox attached to such vital energy, emotion as you call it, is the opportunity for growth it provides and the simultaneous, it's the opportunity for the growth it provides. Okay. And the simultaneously possibility of stasis and retrogression. So control and direction thereof thus becomes a prime purpose in the evolving human experience. Understanding and comprehension is the resultant and flows without effort. At no point is the goal to repress or suppress such energy. Instead, it is enhanced when directed and focused into the channels for which it was originally designed. What you call your curiosity is perhaps the most unrecognized and undistorted forms of such energy. Yet it is the underlying force that produces what humans consider their most outstanding historical achievement. And then Robert says, "This is coming too high and too fast. I'll have to put this particular road away and run it later." And then the voice says, "Do you wish to participate in your final demonstration?" As it is the last one, I assume it is the most stringent. If I could just remember it is only a demonstration, as they call it. It seems more like a test, but if I could remember, it wouldn't be a test. There's something similar here to all human physical experience, this not remembering business and the importance of it. I guess the final test, yes. Click. I'm sitting alone in the house. It's quiet. Even our furry friends seem subdued. Both dog and cat lie half asleep in the front hall facing the door waiting. The sun has just set and twilight is moving in. Soon it will be dark, and I can sit in the dark and see the house full of things. Things she selected and liked so much. Things she made do with until there was better. Things her grandmother used. Things she placed or hung in each room or put in closets and drawers where only she knew where they were. All an expression of her and bearing her reflection. But she is gone. She's not here as I expected. I don't need light to see the things to remind me she was here. The sight of them does not disturb me, and I would not change or remove them because they have her strong imprint. I can find her in the dark or in the light. It makes no difference. She taught me so much without knowing she did. The very female human response to moments large and little, uncolored except by her own perspective. All of these she shared with me, so that I lead not one but 3 lives, hers, mine, and our meld. And she helped me learn release from one of the most difficult of all. That physical sexual drive is not the fundamental of this energy. I don't know what else to call it but love. But one of the most common inducements to kindle the process. Once the full flame is created, the inducement is not even the fuel that feeds it, but instead a multi-leveled minor physical note and an infinite chord. I now understand a mother and physical motherhood without being one. Why a woman likes to be a wife, and the admix of the idealistic and realistic that foments such liking. A lifetime of human gamut and fraction thereof. The whither thou goest, I go, is more than true, yet a release from this part is needed and accepted. She goes with me, and I go with her. Aloneness is an illusion. Here or there, the flame is eternal, and we carry within us that which we have received and created. She is returning now, as I knew she would, and we will not exchange goodbyes or forwarding addresses. Our idents in one another are indelible. Just one final moment in this point of time. Click. Your perception was quite clear, Ashanine. The demonstration was successful. I guess that's his name, Ashanine. I don't know. I thought his name was Robert Monroe, but these like incepts, or what do you call them? Percepts, incept, ident, alien things, whatever, they're calling him Ashanine now. It was very strange. One of us had released from the physical, and I thought she was the one. Then as it developed, I momentarily became unsure. It could have been I, and I finally realized it didn't make any difference which one of us left. The result was the same. Now, of course, I don't have to ask if it has happened, but I know it will one day in our serial time. And the voice said, "That is correct. The result is the same. We now believe you are prepared to visit us, where we are, as you call it. If that is still your desire, it will not be a demonstration, but our reality. However, we will guide you and return you to this point. It is important that you understand that such a visit, momentary as it may seem, can produce within you changes that are irrevocable. And then Robert Monroe says, I do desire it, and I accept the responsibility for any changes that may occur in me. Okay, the voice said, open widely. Have fun, as you put it. Click. I'm in a bright, white tunnel and moving rapidly. No, it's not a tunnel, but a tube. A transparent, radiating tube. I am bathed in the radiation which courses through all of me, and the intensity and recognition of it envelop my consciousness, and I laugh with great joy. Something has changed, because the last time they had to shield me from the random vibration of it. Now I can tolerate it easily. The actual energy itself, the radiation flow, is two-directional in the tube. The flow moving past me in the direction from which I came is smooth, even, and undiluted. The flow that I am is moving in the opposite direction and appears much different. It is organized in a more complex form. It is the same as the wave moving past me, but it contains a multitude of small waves impressed upon the basic. I am both the basic and the small waveforms, moving back to the source. The movement is steady and unhurried, impelled by a desire I know but cannot express. I vibrate with joyous ecstasy just by the knowing. The tube seems to become larger as another joins it from one side, and another waveform melds into me, and we become one. I recognize the other immediately, as it does me, and there is the great excitement of reunion. This other I, and I. How could I have forgotten this? We move along together, happily exploring the adventures, experience, and knowledge of the other. The tube widens again, and another I joins us, and the process repeats itself. Our waveforms are remarkably identical, and our pattern grows stronger as they move in phase. There are variegations in each which, when combined with another related anomaly, create a new and important modification of the total that we are. The tube expands again, and I am no longer concerned with its walls as still another I enters the waveform flow. This is particularly exciting as it is the first I perceive as returning from a completely non-human sojourn. Yet the intermesh was near perfect, and we became so much more. Now we know that, somewhere, a consciously controlled physical tail, much like a monkey's, is useful in ways far more than balance and acting as a third hand for holding things. It can be a very efficient means of communication far beyond the super sign language, just as eloquent as the spoken word. Steadily and surely, one I after another joins us, and with each we become more aware and remember more of the total. How many does not seem important? Our knowledge and ability is so great that we do not bother to contemplate it. It is not important. We are all one. And with this we divert from the underlying waveform and move away from it. We watch motionless and unified respect as the action of it continues away from us into an infinity. We also perceive easily the smooth originating wave coming from such infinity and dissolving into the pattern from whence we came. Flowing through all of us is a coherent energy that is our creation, that displays immensely the reality of the whole is far greater than the sum of the parts. Our ability and knowledge seem without limit, yet we know at this point such is valid only within the energy systems of our experience. We can create time as we wish, or the need arises, reshaping and modifying within the percept itself. We can create matter from other energy patterns or change the structure thereof to any degree desired, including reversion to original forms. We can create, enhance, alter, modulate, or eradicate any percept within the energy fields of our experience. We can transform any such energy fields one into another or others except for that which we are. We cannot create or comprehend our prime energy until we are complete. We can create physical patterns such as your sun and solar system, yet we do not. It has been done. We can adjust the environs of your planet Earth, yet we do not. It is not our design. We can and do monitor, supplement, and enhance the flow of the human learning experience as well as other learning experiences of similar content throughout time, space. This we perform continuously at all levels of human awareness so as to prepare properly those entraining units of our prime energy for the entry and meld into the totality that we are becoming. It is the essence of our growth to do so. and such assistance and preparation is forthcoming from us only by request from one or more levels of consciousness within the entraining unit. Thereafter, a bonding is in effect through which many forms of communication pass between us until the ultimate transformation occurs. We know who we are, and one eye laughs, and we all laugh at the name. We know who we are, and one eye laughs, and we all laugh at the name this eye had given us. We are an inspect. We're just one. There are many others around us. But you are still incomplete. There are parts of you yet to be transformed, including that visiting portion so filled with curiosity. Each of us is incomplete. That is why we remain at this point, to reach back and gather additional and remaining parts of us until we are complete. Our curiosity desires the effect of completion. We move into the creative return flow again, the waveform that brought you here, and when we do so, we leave this reality. Can this be demonstrated? Well, it is not possible. It is not within our knowledge to do so. When you have transformed and melded totally into your whole, you will comprehend. That is why this point came into being. It is not possible to continue until completion. Continue to what destination, though? Well, we believe it to be the source of the radiation, the creative emission and return. Communication is closed with those who have continued. The desire to continue occurs upon completion. It is more than your curiosity, as you call it, and difficult to transmit in a form we can understand. There have been attempts by those completed who are to continue without success. The ultimate home. Yeah, a good beginning concept, a design which unfolds as perception grows. It is necessary now that you terminate your visit and return. We will be with you, our curious eye. But return where? The voice said, your physical environs. Well, where is that? In your human physical body. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Do I have to go back? Well, just reach for us, and we will be with you in many ways. You have much to go. Go get 'em, tiger. And a rote, as you call it, to play with. Click. The return to the physical was near instantaneous. My face and eyes were wet. I sat up in the chair and remembered. I reached for the yellow pad and pen to get the rote into words immediately. I knew I had changed. For the rest of my physical life, I would remember. But this would never change. For those who would die, there is life. And for those who would dream, there is reality. And for those who would hope, there is knowledge. And for those who would grow, there is eternity. Weird stuff, man. See, this is why, I've read this book 100,000 freaking times, and I still cannot comprehend everything. Well, lots of it, but most stuff, it's hard to take it all in. It's hard to even fathom the concept that Robert Monroe took all of this stuff in as he was getting out of body. It's insane to think that he was even trying to write all this stuff down as he woke up to try to remember all of it. That's totally insane. I don't know. I might have put Bryce to sleep. What do you think, Bryce? You got any opinions before we go into break? Whatsoever.
I had one, but I lost it. I lost it, man. I was thinking about it, but
it's too much to take in, man. It's almost like I have to go back and read a part of that chapter and then think about it, and then read another part of that chapter and think about it. And like I said, man, it's just too much. Do you really think he could have made all that up?
There's too much insight, Yeah, but there's way too much insight just to be making stuff up like that, That's one thing I was thinking about. I was thinking, he is he making it up, but he's actually seems like he's learning things,
Yeah.
Through scenarios. I don't know whether he made those scenarios up. I don't know.
It's possible that he made all that up, but I don't know, man. I don't know. It's hard to even fathom that he would make it up because all of book one is so real and believable, and I've been through some of it too. Then to jump to this, where he's just being guided by these inspects, showing him all there's just so deep and so fast, like so many concepts, so deep and so fast all at once. It's insane, man. Anyways, short break, laboratory break, get a drink, have a smoke, whatever. We'll be right back.
It's as simple as something that nobody knows it. Her eyes are as big as her bubbly toes on the feet of a queen of the hearts of the cards, and her feet are all covered with tar balls and scars. It's a common as something that nobody knows it. Her beauty will follow wherever she goes, up the hill in the back of her house in the wood. She loved me forever, I know she could. I remember when you and me, how we used to be just good friends, wouldn't give me none, but all I wanted was some. She's got a whole lot of reasons. She can think of a single one that can justify leaving. And he got none, but he thinks he got so many problems, and he got too much time to waste. His dreams are like commercials, but her dreams are picture perfect, and our dreams are so related, though they're often underestimated. Simple as something that nobody knows it. Her eyes are as big as her bubbly toes on the feet of a queen of the hearts of the car. Feet are infested with tar balls, and la da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da. Well, I was eating lunch at the DLG when this little girl came and she sat next to me. Never seen nobody move the way she did. Well, she did and she does, and she'll do it again. When you move like a jellyfish, rhythm don't mean nothing. You go with the flow, you don't stop. Move like a jellyfish, rhythm is nothing. You go with the flow, you don't stop. It's a common to something that nobody knows. Her beauty will follow wherever she goes. Up the hill in the back of a house in the wood. She loved me forever, I know. She la da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da. If you would only listen, you might just realize what you're missing. You're missing me. Listen, you might just realize what you're missing. You're missing me. It's simple as something that nobody knows. That her eyes are as big as her bubbly toes on the feet of a queen of the hearts of the car. Feet are infested with tar balls, and la da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da.
Ready for more of this or not? It's a lot. Also want to give a shout out to, hold on, let me pull it up here. Nicholas, thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Whoever Nicholas is, you know who you are. Thank you. It's probably one of you in here with a different username, right? Give me the wink. Okay. All right. So all of those donations are going to go to turning the station on and the Halloween special as well. And we all thank you so much for that. Really. I didn't think that would happen at all, but I appreciate it. Do you guys want another chapter of this? Yo, Ari's Nick. What's up, Ari? See, Ari, I never thought you were a Nick. Thanks, brother. He said, yo, I'm Nick, bro. Big shout out to Ari. Ari, you're the man, dude. You know you're the man. And Sudi, and April, and Howard. Thank you, guys. Hope I didn't miss anybody. You guys think you can handle another chapter of this? I don't. Dude. I would read that chapter again just to try to comprehend it, but I can't. I mean, that would just bore people to tears, but I might read it again later. I don't know. I'm so freaking jealous, man. I am. I'm jealous. Like, my out-of-body experiences have totaled to... shut your face. My out-of-body experiences have totaled to just flying around the yard, just getting out of body, flying around the yard, maybe a few static interferences here and there. Been blind out of body a couple times, things like that. But, man, being able to go out and, like, talk to aliens and entities and all this other stuff, it seems so damn crazy. Like, I almost said unrealistic, but it's not that I don't believe it. It's just like... dude, it's so much. But it makes me jealous. Aren't you jealous, Bryce? Are you guys jealous, chat? Are you jealous? I'm jealous. It is kind of scary, though, isn't it? Like, what the hell is he talking about? That when he said, that feels so good, it hurts so much. He was a kid, too, by the way, talking about, I feel these waves, and it feels so good, but it hurts so much, and I know that I'll never feel this again, and oh, yeah, now I remember. It's almost like just being a human made him forget all this stuff. I don't know if I want to experience that. That sounds awful. It sounds like being on Molly and then it's like going from Molly to kidney stone. Being on Molly to kidney stone. That's what it sounded like to me, you know. What do you think? What do you think, Bryce? You think you want to go through any of that shit?
I don't know, man. Like,
I don't.
It sounds like a huge bipolar episode, but, you know.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
Instantaneous bipolar swings right there.
Thanks, Robo 1776 for the $9.99. That's the only thing I'm not jealous of, right? It's like not jealous of that at all. Like, I don't want anything to do with that, but being able to go out to the outer rings of consciousness and talk to this thing that's like, hey man, I'm going to show you everything about consciousness and everything about existence if you can handle it. And then I'll show you where we're from and that what you really are is this freaking wave frequency that's made up of all these other wave frequencies. And can you handle it? It's like, I don't know, man. Being human seems kind of cool after all that. So, but I am jealous of being able to, yeah. You got to be jealous of that. Wouldn't you want to talk to like a super conscious entity being, Bryce? Without the pain and all the crap, right? Like, wouldn't you be able to want to, like, just ask it what question would you ask it if you had, like, one question?
Dude, I don't know if I could handle it. I'm going to be honest. I don't even know if I could handle that. It'd be like, what do you mean?
You'd be having an out-of-body panic attack. It's like, well, and then the thing will be like, well, you're not really having a panic attack. You're not breathing at all, actually. It's like, don't tell me that. You know?
Wait, am I dead? Am I dead?
Hey... And Jeff, my buddy, he's in the hospital, right? The one I was telling you that I was on the phone with, and you know they found that mass on his chest. He said that when they did the PET scan, because we talk about out of body stuff all the time, so they did a PET scan on his chest, and then they left him down there in this room for 3 hours, right, all by himself, almost like they forgot about him. Because when he went to the hospital, he couldn't breathe, like he had like syncope, he was passing out, stuff like that. So they took him to this place to get his stuff x-rayed. And then they left him there alone for 3 hours. 3 hours. He said it was dead silent in there. And for a moment, he thought that he was like he might have passed away and he was stuck in that place. That's what he thought. That would be better than some of what this guy was talking about, you know. Let's go to the chat and then we'll start this other. If you've had any kind of experience, you probably know that the emotion you get isn't helpful. If it's successful for you, it's pretty suspect. Yeah, I see your point on that. Robo1776 says, I'm jealous. I kind of am. I mean, the only thing that freaked me out was the, you know, feels so good. Yeah, that is awful, right? They left him there for 3 hours in that room. I think he went in kind of late or something, but that's still, like, I asked Jeff, I was like, man, do you really think you might have died? And he was like, dude, for a moment, I thought I was gone. Like, they forgot about me, you know. Typical hospital stuff. That happens sometimes, though, I think. It's terrible, though. All right. We'll see if we can get through another one. See if y'all can hang. Or if I can hang, you know. So this one's called Newfound Friend. And then he goes through all of the definitions like blank, click, closed, curl, dulled, flickered, ident, lightened, M-band noise. So blank is don't understand. Click is change consciousness. Closed is tuned down or out. Curl is organized energy. Dulled is lost interest. Flickered is uncertain. Ident is like a name or an address. Lighted is like an idea or happy. M-band is a thought spectrum. So anytime he says M-band, that means thought spectrum. M-band noise is uncontrolled thought. Open is receptive. Percept is insight or intuition. Plied is the way it is. Rolled means that they laughed non-verbally. Rote is, again, a program or a thought bundle. Run the rote means get the details. Smoothed means get it together. And TSI is physical universe. Turn in is consider, and to vibrate, which I think is the most interesting NVC word. Vibrate means to show emotion. Real time, 3:05 a.m. Body rested, relaxed, sense of warmth. Gentle, insistent signal. Familiar, good enough. Deep breath. Exhale. Detach, unhook, down and out, then up. Free of the physical body. Up slightly. Roll out of the second body. So he left his physical body, then he left his etheric body, which is crazy. Leave it in the parking orbit, whatever the hell that is. Now I'm totally free. Begin to home on inspect ident. Out of phase with physical. Moving. Unusual, easy process. Rapidly through dense inner rings of consciousness. Ought to be some way to wake all of them up at once. That would be something. Not even a good simulation of hell. If you won't accept you're no longer physical, you're dead. Dead. Dead and still alive. Now more out of phase. Into the center major ring. Used to call this place locale 2. What an understatement. What a misnomer. At least they've begun to understand and remember. Dim forms. Light up if you focus on them. This is where my father was. Dr. Gordon, Agnew, more out of phase and spiral, nearly past the last outer ring of consciousness. Somebody grabbed me. Keep calm, cool. It can be worked out. This happened before, but not this far out on the edge. No need to abort and go back to the physical body. Don't move. No movement. Whatever grabbed me is releasing me. Easing back. Totally different energy pattern, but intelligent, yes. Must operate on M-band. Certainly not. And then a voice said, hey, or a nonverbal voice said, I didn't intend to push you. The form was open, vibrating. Your ident almost exactly like somebody else. My percept was, or he was you. I smoothed. That's okay. The form blanked. Okay. Well, I mean, there's no problem. The homing signal was still there, and I turned to move, when suddenly the signal cut off. It was gone. In other words, the signal that he could get back to his body, I think, or the signal to where he's going to the inspect was cut off. It was gone. This had rarely happened before. Usually there was a reason. Almost instantly, I got the percept. I turned back to the form. It was dulled and closed, receding. Hey, wait a minute. The form opened slightly and blanked, motionless. The form said, can I help you? The form vibrated slightly. You're human, or used to be. I smoothed. Well, yes, but not exactly the way you. Well, if you're human, you can't help because you're addicted like all the rest of the humans. The form vibrated heavily. Takes more smarts than any human or anyone who's ever been human. They're contaminated. I had a percept of great loneliness. Try me. Small bits of rote drifted out of the form as it flickered half open. They had a different pattern and I couldn't put them together. Too strange. The first response in me was wariness, and then I remembered what I had learned. I opened wide. Try me. The form flickered, then lighted somewhat. Well, I have this friend, and there's a problem, but I don't know, here. A large, bulky rote rolled out of the form and straight to me. I gathered in carefully, and certainly with caution. There are some rotes one just as soon do without. This one also had an alien ident, but slowly I opened it. Click. The tour guide checked to be sure all members of the group were present. It had been an extensive cruise, and this was the last point of interest. May I have your attention, please? If you're ready, we will make one more entry into TSI. I'm sure you will find it most interesting. Ident AA dulled. I don't know, I think I'll sit this one out. Ident BB turned to his friend. Aw, come on, AA. It's only one more, then we'll be heading for home. One more. One more, AA vibrated. The exciting and amazing time-space illusion, TSI. Experience it in person. I could have stayed home and got the same effect. See one, you've seen them all. This is supposed to be different, BB lighted. Sure, AA said. And I'm instructed to caution you, there's some kind of like ship instructor saying all this stuff. I'm instructed to caution you to be prepared for extreme discordant M-band radiation, the tour guide continued. So I suggest that you shield yourselves accordingly. AA turned to BB, half closed. Same old build-up, probably more rock, more dust, more craters. Stay on the perimeter, keep a safe distance, and you'll find enough to keep your attention at that point. Is everyone ready? You coming, AA? BB queried his friend unnecessarily. He knew him very well. AA turned. Oh, all right. You'll never let me forget it if I don't. Click. The blue-green ball rushed closer until it blotted out all other perception. They were hovering just above tall rectangular masses set in orderly rows. And deep furrows between the masses, objects of various shapes were moving slowly. Noise level in the M-band was unbearable. BB focused down with disgust. What a mess. The tour guide began his careful, prepared spiel. This is one of the major matter artifacts created by the dominant species. Ident man, or human if you remember your briefing. The local ident is a place called New York. BB dulled. Doesn't look very new to me. The human species are the ones that appear more vertical than horizontal, the tour guide continued. The various colors you perceive are emanating from an artificially produced covering used principally for decorative reasons. The large mobiles are in fact artificial physical bodies which are often temporarily inhabited by the dominant species and use chemical reaction of an explosive force to provide operating energy. That's an alien way of talking about cars, I guess. You were right, AA. It's not worth the effort. And that M-band noise is turning me inside out. BB scanned his friend. Getting to you too, huh? AA focused rapidly at the activity around them. Fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. BB turned to him quickly. What? Well, the incredible power. I've never felt anything like it. What power? Don't you feel it? So many different kinds all randomly mixed together. What are you talking about? AA reached out, stretching. Coming from them, the M-band energy. Patterns, thousands upon thousands, some hard, some soft, and the texture. Well, the texture. BB blanked. Are you all right? AA opened wide. I'm fine. In fact, I'm wonderful. I never knew anything like this existed. BB suddenly lighted. It's the M-band noise. You've sopped up too much of it. Not noise, BB. And AA cut in. Certainly not noise. It's an amazing mixture of resonance, beat frequencies, standing waves, incalculable patterns. Noise. That's what the prep briefing called it. That's what everybody calls it. Plain old M-band noise. AA turned inward. I wonder what it's really like. What do you mean, really like? It's all over the place. All primitive life sets have it. M-band noise is M-band noise. Come on, let's get out of here. The cruise group is leaving. AA still remembered inward. To be there, to be in it must be spectacular. I wouldn't know and don't want to know, BB grunted. I've heard it can be done, BB. Rumor, street talk, BB vibrated impatiently. Come on, AA. We'll lose the group if we don't. AA? Where are you going? AA. Click. Sounds to me like these are conscious beings about to enter Earth from some type of weird cruise or something. I don't know. It's what it sounds like. AA entered the intermediate area, BB in his wake. He stopped in front of a tall, burly form that seemed to resemble the humans he had just seen. I'm looking for the way to get to be human. This is ident entry station, the form responded curiously. I want to do it, AA vibrated. I mean, I want to be human. The form blanked. You want to what? I want to find out what it's like to be human, the way they are over down there. AA pointed. I don't mean permanently, just long enough to get the feel of it. Just long enough to get the feel of it. The form turned inward, then out. Why would you want to do a thing like that? Well, AA tried to sort out the pattern in himself. We're on this TSI cruise, and when we went over this ident called New York, I suddenly, it was very strange. I wanted. The M-band noise BB put in, it got to him. The form nodded. Yeah, the M-band noise. It'll do it if you're not careful. I don't know how to express it, AA flickered, attempting to coalesce. It seems very important that I try it. Just for kicks. Hi, something new, the form suggested, right? Well, yes, AA lighted, at least at first, but now something more than that. I've never felt an interest in this so strongly, or anything so strongly. Where are you from? The form smoothed politely. Well, I'm from KT95. BB came in quickly. I know it's a hefty skip from here, but we had got a lot of road about time, space, and the TSI. No one ever visited it from KT95. So when this cruise was offered, he added, it could get kind of boring. You do something to break up the monotony. I can do it? There was slightly anxiety in AA's query. Rumor wrote back home had wild stories about it, but even in the cruises wrote, there's no official mention, so the form sighed. Yeah, all you have to do is ask. That's all. Ask. AA lighted with unusual brilliance. That's just great, because I certainly... AA, hold it, BB cut in. You absolutely sure you know what you're doing? I remember some wild road about parts of it weren't quite so... Well, I wouldn't miss it for the KT95, AA turned to the form. I ask now, what do I do? Recorded, you asked. The form turned and pointed. Just go that way, and then turn right, not left. Got it. Down that way and turn right. Not left. Right. AA leaned to BB. Stick around till I get back, old buddy. Well, I have some stuff to fill you in. Real rote. Yeah, BB grunted sourly. The cruise group has already left. That means we'll have to pull skip all the way home. Just don't make it forever. AA lighted brightly and faded into the haze, and BB stirred uncomfortably. You can wait here if you wish, the form offered. Thanks, I'd appreciate it, BB dulled, then in passing. Wait, what's to the left? The form spoke absently. Oh, well, left. That's another department. Don't want to get them mixed up. Oh, yeah? Then perceiving the form clearly. Hey, who are you? Ident Entry Director Ed. Just call me Ed. Ed, BB opened curiously. You never been through this human stuff? Ed was silent for a moment, pulling an old rote. Yeah, a couple times. BB drifted aimlessly about the station. The entry director hovered motionless, inward and closed. BB ventured. Busy operation you got here. Ed opened slightly. Yeah. Must be a lot more organization than appears on the surface, huh? The form says, yeah. BB reached out with much result. Haze is strange stuff. Cut your percep back to near nothing, doesn't it? The form said, yeah. Effect of the TSI, huh? Yeah. BB rotated slightly, then did a few quick spirals. We got a game back home where you do as many as 100 of these, one after the other. Pretty neat, huh? Yeah. But you got to keep in practice if you're going to stay in the game. Yeah. BB did several more tight spirals than relaxed. My friend will come back to the station when he's through, won't he? Back here? Yeah. Good. I can't miss him. Yeah. BB blanked. I can? Ed popped open. What? My friend has to come back here to the station after his little human thing, doesn't he? Ed closed. Hey, I don't want to. Ed open vibrated heavily. Hasn't your friend returned? No, not yet. My percept was. Ed accelerated. I should have seen he was the type. Come on, kid. BB vibrated. What's up? Ed faded. Your friend's got a problem. Come on. He turned and receded rapidly, and BB followed, flickered wildly. Ed turned left and waited for BB to join him. There. This is our big department. No rote. The real thing. Get your own rote. BB blanked, flickered, wide open. Before him was the blue-green planet, indistinct, and around the planet were rings of haze, gigantic, thick rings of interdeterminate number. Of an interdeterminate number. A demarcation between them was vague as wisps and tendrils reached out from one to the other. Except the ring nearly touching the planet itself. It appeared isolated. With this exception, the others were flowing rapidly through portals in the entry station. No, there was one more, on the outer edge. It came nowhere near the station, but very thin. BB focused intently. The M-band noise was horrendous, yet not nearly so bad as it had been down on the planet itself. Moreover, as he singled out each band, his percept showed that the noise was greatest in the bands close to the planet. The farther away from the planet, the less the noise. Very little was present in the outermost band. Little, but still there. BB blanked further. M-band doesn't decline with distance or dimension. Even the crew's TSI briefing wrote had the whole story. If there was no M-band, there's no life. M-band with noise, still primitive, no percept, no communication worthwhile bothering with. M-band, no noise, great place to visit and gather rote. Locals know where they are and what they are. Easy but limited communication, but not a place to stay. Nothing. No decline of intensity, no mix, noise, and M signals. It was, or was not. Must be an effect of the intermediate area. Either it was or it was not. BB focused tightly on a band in the center, nearly fell backwards with shock, and closed quickly and turned in. The band was composed of forms, living forms. He opened slightly, focused one band after another. They were all the same, thousands, no millions, maybe billions of living forms. BB closed and blanked completely, totally dulled. Well, your friend's in there. Ed came in both gentle and sad, and BB opened slightly, still dulled. What? Well, when he hadn't appeared at the station, that's the only answer. BB still blanked. He's in there? Yep. Well, what is it? There wasn't anything like that during the TSI cruise when we stopped over. Well, you were focused totally on physical matter. Cruise groups popped through the intermediate area like avoiding a bump in the road. BB blanked again. A road or a bump? What is that? Forget it. It's not important. These are just human terms. But all those living forms and repeaters, repeat what? They want to go through another experience as human. BB closed tightly. Rote was coming so fast it was almost beyond control. Incredible that anyone would want to go the route a second time. The first looked bad enough, yet the percept was obviously knowing AA. It was obvious. He opened. The shock wore off. Can we find him among all these others? Ed smoothed. It's a good possibility. Most first-timers hitting the repeat route usually end up in the outer band. Can you spot him? I mean, could you get a percept on him easily? BB lighted. AA? Got more road on him than anyone in KT-95. No problem. And you may well be able to turn him out of it. Ed swung around. We better get over the processing gate. Click. BB scanned intently the multitude of animate forms passing under him. AA and his impulses. Never did know when to stop if he got interested in something. But these thousands upon thousands. He turned to Ed. Must be big stuff to make all these want to do it again. We warned them. It's all in the pre-brief wrote. Must not be too clear, though. Here, run it yourself. I'll scan for your friend. Ed tossed a bulky road at BB. He ran it quickly. Halfway through, there it was. Remain fully established freedom of will and consciousness at the entry point. This is guaranteed and is required by the compressed learning system in use. A final note of caution. Certain aspects of the human experience may produce specific and general effects which may be harmful and, unless controlled, bring about habituation with undesirable consequences. Your imprint affirms your understanding of this section. BB open. That doesn't seem very clear to me. Ed vibrated. Well, that's as far as we go. Otherwise, it would ruin the learning process. What aspects? What effects are they talking about? I can't tell you. It would ruin the... Come on, Ed, it won't ruin me. I'm not going to be a human. I'll never touch the stuff. Ed dulled, then closed. Get your own rote. BB vibrated. All right, I will. Both remained half closed, focusing on the stream of forms passing through the portal. Each appeared different from the others, yet possessed some human trait, however small. In a few, BB's percept found a bright and intense radiation that made him confused and uncomfortable. It was his reaction to one of these that forced him open and smooth. Ed, you're just doing your job, and I'm pushed about by my friend AA. Ed open. Yeah, I got the percept. Problem is, events like this don't happen often enough, and I lose the rote. BB blanked. Lose the rote? Impossible. Nobody does that. Ed indicated that massive bands of living forms. They did. All of them lost it. Lose what rote? Who they were. They forgot who they were. BB blanked and closed. No way anything like that could happen. It was vital to very existence to remember who you are. No one could be and do if you, how did Ed put it? Forgot who you were. Yet the percept from Ed was clear. Now this outer ring, Ed was continuing, they are made of 3 types. One is the first-timer, such as your friend. He just started to forget. Then there's the old-timers, who mostly remember after going the route, repeating being human a number of times. These hang around and do what they can to help. They don't remember quite enough to go home, though. BB lighted with a great percept. You're an old-timer, Ed. Yeah. Anyway, you can keep a scan for your friend. I'll run the rest of the rope for you, piece by piece. BB opened wide, sweeping focus on the stream of living forms. So many of them, still. Should be no problem finding AA. Wonder how Ed happened to get assisted or assigned this job, and why him. Wasn't assigned to it. There was a hole where the Ed used to be on my time around, so I just jumped into it. Ed was smooth and warming. Then there's this third type, the last timers, these beings. They make one more recycle to Earth or one more physical life as a human, and then they're gone. BB turned. Well, where do they go? Ed rolled. I don't know. Home, I guess. They never show up back here. And oh yeah, there's this other type we call the seekers. Don't get many of them, slippery as eels. Unstable. They just flick in and out. BB blanked. As what? Slippery? Give me a rote and I'll run it. Not worth it. Now these seekers, they're different. Near as I get it, they come poking around here and they still got a physical human body back down there. Over there, alive and kicking. I didn't have a percept that you can do that. I thought everybody came back only after the physical body fell apart. Wasn't operational. Or that's what I had until I got here as Ed. Then I began to spot them. BB was lighting strongly. There he is. Ed was gentle, warm. Go get him, Tiger. BB blanked. Tiger? Just go on. BB moved swiftly into the massive, flowing ring of vibrating forms. The M-band noise was nowhere near what he had expected, almost within tolerable levels. As he slipped through the edges of various radiation groups, he was quick to percept that many, if not most, had signal strength equal to, if not greater than his own. But it was different. It was not just the noise. It was something different. Nothing like it was in KT-95. Also, the forms obviously were aware of his passing, short flashes of curiosity retracing to let him through. Pleasant acknowledgement. Nothing like the pattern he expected from his earlier percept. Then he was with AA. Some adventure, huh? AA blanked, then lightly, brightly. BB, what are you doing here? I came to get you. What else? Well, you were supposed to return to the station. What happened? AA flickered. I was? Yeah, sure you were. AA flickered more deeply. I don't know. It seems easier this way. Well, BB smoothed. Well, how was it? AA lighted. Astounding. I don't have anything to express it. Start at the beginning. AA rolled brightly and hit BB with a solid rope before he could close. Click. AA moved among a large mass of beings of all shapes, sizes, and patterns. The crowd was so large that he could not easily perceive the other side where it ended. None remotely reassembled or resembled anyone he had known back home in KT-95. He dulled, disappointed. Were they all waiting to be human? All of them? AA spun his focus. A short, human-looking form leaned behind him. What? The form vibrated. Ident route entry dispatcher, Red. Just call me Red. Red? Not to be confused with, sorry, wrong department. You must have joined in when I was busy. Need to get a road on you so I can try to place you properly. Roll it. AA opened and gave him the best rote he knew. Red lighted. KT-95, hey? Well, that's a new one for me. Haven't had a KT-95 since I've been here. I don't believe there ever has been, AA replied. No records, only side road, which doesn't really mean anything. And you came in on a TSI cruise and you want to get the feel of it, huh? M-band noise got you, didn't it? Well, no, AA flickered. Not exactly. You see, not important, Red cut in. It just makes it easier to get you processed as a matter of rote. Now, first, which is your preference, male or female? I can't guarantee your choice, but I like to match it up with the entry point when I can. AA blanked. Red vibrated. Oh, you don't know the difference. You're out of the woods. AA blanked further. That's a human expression which, anyways, not important. I guess male or female doesn't make any difference in the long run, especially with you. So any particular entry point desired? AA hesitated, then decided, New York. That's all? Just New York? AA lighted. New York it is. Any available entry point, either sex? Well, AA, that should make it fairly rapid for you. Of course, it would be immediate if you select Bombay, Calcutta, or a dozen or so other points. A lot of action in New York. AA dimmed and dulled. New York, at least I have a rote. I've been there. Red turned and closed. Yeah, sure you do. Then he lighted briskly. Take this pre-brief rote and focus through it all the way. You'll need to imprint your agreement and acceptance when you pass through the entry point. Are you ready? Red lobbed the rote and AA fielded it easily. AA probed the outer edges, then opened. Hey, this is complicated. You mean I have to sort through all this stuff? Red was closed. Yep. Why can't I simply just go and be human? Why do I need all of this? Red went auto-rote. Well, when in Rome. I'm going to Rome or I'm going to New York? Red smoothed. Yes, well, it applies anywhere. It's the rules, kid. I don't make them. Now find yourself a quiet spot and run through it. I'll have you a general point, New York, in no time at all. AA blanked. No time at all. I thought time was just run the rote, kid. Run the rote. Red unfocused and was gone. AA leaned back and then let the rote open. Agreement and understanding. Human sojourn only. First entry status, FES. Organized as a school for compressed learning. Successful graduates achieve tangent rating. For duration of human sojourn, firm agreement that time, space exists has reality. Agreement of reality of particular entry point and its environments, pattern or matter, planet Earth, sun, solar system, galaxy, physical universe, etc., of time indicated at entry point, a physical animate form designed as well as those of others, of past events recorded as human history, of complete biostructure as encountered. In order for learning system to function at maximum efficiency, temporary blanking of pre-entry activity is essential. Agreement to perform such blanking is hereby authorized. Anything to contrary contained herein notwithstanding, all FES remain fully established in freedom of will and consciousness at the entry point. This is guaranteed and is required by the compressed learning system in use. A final note of caution, certain aspects of the human experience may produce specific and general effects which may be harmful and, AA released the road. Scare tactics. Need them to hold back the mobs that won't swamp the place with applications. Well, it won't work this time. Can't get rid of old AA that easily. He refocused on a nearby form. How's it going? The form opened and closed. Who wants to know? Me. Ident AA from KT-95. AA reached out, then withdrew quickly. Where are you from? The form said, "You don't want to know." "Sure I do. Your first time too, huh? I guess. What made up your mind to give it a try?" The form doled. "I didn't." AA blanked. "Sure you did." "You understand here," the form rolled a wrote to AA, who picked it up gingerly. The first layer was enough. Assigned HSTIFES for retaining. Don't come back until you're better. Details enclosed in the rope grew too hot to handle. AA hurriedly rolled it back to the form, and the form reluctantly retrieved it. AA focused and turned away. "A big event, isn't it?" A tall, thin form emerged from the haze. AA opened uncertainly. "Yes, it is. After all the planning and preparation, I'm finally going to do it. Finally." AA blanked. "Do what?" "Well, conduct my experiment," the form lighted strongly. "I've studied every aspect of the human system. Incredible how much effort it took. Only state of consciousness I can test it in. It could change everything." "Really?" AA focused more carefully. "What does it do?" The form closed. "Sorry, I might spoil the experiment if you had wrote. Maybe we'll meet as humans. See you on Earth." The form faded, and AA turned. He became aware of a tiny form huddled to one side. He focused. I guess what's happening here is AA is like, he's going in to be a human, and he's like meeting all these forms that are about to be human or some shit. I don't know. It's weird. I don't know what that means. What does that mean? They're saying some weird stuff in the chat, too. It's getting weird. Okay, so the form faded and AA turned. He became aware of a tiny form huddled to one side. He focused. "Hi." The little one was wide open. Hi. Going to make the big leap, huh?" "Yes, I hope so," the form said. AA blanked. "You hope so? Don't you know?" The tiny form vibrated. It came so quickly. It was such a surprise. I'm still not used to it. It's really going to happen after I tried so long." "You mean they wouldn't accept you? Wouldn't let you in before this?" "Well, I guess not. I wanted to, but it never happened before now." AA opened more. "I thought anyone could just walk up and get into this human experience if there were entry points available." "Oh, no," the form said. "You have to qualify." AA stored and scanned. "Ident. What?" The form flickered. "What?" "Give me your ident." "I don't know what you mean," the form said. AA blanked heavily, then focused softly. "If you run me your rote, I'll try to help. I understand the excitement and all the anticipation." The form flickered more. "What's a rote?" "Well, rote is information that you have that." AA cut off, then reset. "Where did you come from?" The form lighted. "Over there. It was easy." AA followed the focus. "You mean the planet where humans are?" Yeah. AA vibrated. "Then it's not your first time you've been human. There must be some mix-up." No, there isn't." The form grew brighter. "I've never been a human, but I've studied them a long time. I've lived with them. They fed and loved me, and now I'm going to get to be a human. They tell me I've learned it, and I'm going to be a good one. I know it." AA gave warm support and swung away, then unfocused. He turned in deeply for some obscure rote that would explain it. Nothing. The haze was gathering into clusters, some large, some small. Each had wispy spirals of rote and brushed through AA as he wandered among the clusters in KT-95. That was usually a sign of poor discipline, or at least leaky valves. Here, it didn't seem to matter. Further, that didn't appear to be any lessening of the crowd. If anything, there were more people, or more beings. This intermediate area was deceptive, AA decided, had a tendency to distort. What he pulled wrote as hundreds must be thousands, all jammed into this entry station. And that little mixed up one couldn't wrote anything, not even where she really came from. She. Wait, what's a she? Suddenly, an unusually large spiral reached out from a cluster and yanked AA inwards. "I need your help. I need your help." AA disengaged just as he was about to fall into the opening cluster. "What's the problem?" The form swept aside the last vestiges of haze. "What are your plans after you enter?" AA opened slightly. "Why, I don't know, to experience being human." The form vibrated. "No more than that?" AA rolled. "I'm sure that'll be enough for me." "Do you know what they're going through over there?" "Well, untold suffering, millions upon millions of them, lying and deceiving each other, violating every known law, including the ones they thought up themselves, illusions upon illusions, digging deeper and deeper patterns. It's horrible. AA began closing. I'm sure it's not as bad as you. The form vibrated more heavily. No, it's worse. I've been studying and observing them for centuries. It's worse. AA blanked. Centuries? What's that? Now it's getting to a crisis situation and somebody has to do something and nobody is, but I'm going to. AA smoothed. You're going to do what? I'm going in there and I'm going to change everything, but I need your help to do it. I need yours and everyone else's I can get. Here's what we're going to do. The form threw a heavy rope to AA, who held on to it with some difficulty. The first layers not only shocked but astounded him. How could rote ever get so tangled and distorted? He turned in and closed. How to release gracefully. The solution came easily. He tossed the rope back to the heavily vibrating form. Sorry, I can't help you. I'd like to, but I can't. The form vibrated. You can't. Why not? AA smoothed even further. Didn't you go through your pre-briefing? Well, yeah, of course I did. The part about blanking all previous rote, if they do that, I won't have a rote or even a rote of meeting you, anything about what happened here. The form dulled, then closed. The haze settled again in a cluster around him. AA unfocused and continued his float among the clusters. He began cautious and avoided all the larger exuding rote tendrils. The others he moved through, picking up fragments of events, patterns, states of awareness totally inconsistent with those of his home, KT95. Suddenly a quick, sharp percept drove into him. Ident AA, ready for you at entry portal. AA spun quickly, focused on the signal, following it through the haze and clusters. Looming through the haze was a large vertical slot, vibrating with a vivid energy AA had never before perceived. Red and Ed were waiting beside it. Red vibrated. All set and ready, Ident AA. AA flickered. What do I do? Ed leaned in. Imprint here. Acceptance and agreement terms contained in the pre-briefing. 2 carefully controlled spirals emanated from Ed. AA sent his own spiral in between them, then activated. Ed pulled back the spirals and leaned back. AA vibrated highly. What do I do now? Red hit it hard and high. Jump. Jump through the slot. AA jumped. Click. This is crazy. Intense contraction, constricting, overwhelming signal input of unknown types, coming from parts of him he never knew existed. Trapped. Can't get out of here. Nothing works. Can't get anything to work right. Not what I expected. It hurts. What's hurt? Who expected? Turn down the signals. Turn them down. They're tearing me up. Too many of them. Too strong. Help. Somebody help me. I'm trapped. Please, somebody help me. Get me out of this thing. This is the last of AA screaming and screaming. A new baby cried lustily in the bedroom of New York tenement. Both mother and midwife grinned happily, sweat running down their faces. Click. BB flickered. Is that all? AA lighted. That's only the beginning. BB turned in. Some beginning. You weren't very happy. Oh, after a bit I learned. Did I learn? There's so much I can't get it all in one rote. What's wrong? I'm getting a wild percept. AA blanked. From where? BB smoothed. Never mind, let's get on home. We're going to have to pull at least 4 skips back to get to KT95 on our own, so... Home, AA said. I can't go back yet. AA vibrated rapidly. Sure you can. No. Now come on, AA. I had only 45 years, then I got sick. I didn't even get to finish. BB smoothed. Whatever 45 years is, that's enough. Come on. I can't, AA flickered violently. I have only half the experience. BB blanked. Half? I was a male this last time. Now I'm going to be a female. BB blanked completely. Male? Female? What is that? That's right, old buddy. And they're as different as, well, that's what I'm going to find out. BB hardened. You're in trouble. Trouble? What trouble? You got the pre-brief wrote. AA flickered. Of course I got it. Then you know what's happening. AA blanked. No, what? BB smoothed. You're getting hooked. You're getting addicted. The huge portal loomed ahead, a myriad of vibrations. AA was fading into the massive portal along with the others. BB vibrated as strongly as he could. AA, no, wait. With a strange wave, AA disappeared and BB doled and closed and moved away from the stream. Sorry, kid, Ed came in gently. I think that you had a chance of a snowball in hell, but I had to let you try. BB doled. Well, what happens now? Well, if he or she follows the pattern, the he-she will get more and more and more involved and addicted to the human experience, dropping down a ring each time until, well, they're at the bottom. BB flickered and still dulled. Then what? Ed opened wide carefully. They stay at the bottom and don't come back or begin to work their way back up, but most of them stay at the bottom. BB dulled. Going home, kid. Back to KT-95. BB dulled and closed completely. He slowly drifted out of the station, flickering dimly. The haze was less filled with the occasional clean signals which did not have his ident. Thus they did not attract or penetrate, and so were ignored. Then a faint percept did penetrate, and BB opened. A form was moving past him. He vibrated and stretched. "AA, you did it. You broke out. How?" The form stopped motionless, and BB pulled back quickly. It was not AA. Click. BB opened wide. "I got my idents crossed. That's why I hooked you." I folded the rope back in slowly. "You've got a problem, all right." Then there was a strong signal to return to the physical. I had a problem, too. I had the percept of BB in total blank, and I must have receded almost instantaneously. I picked up the second, went back to the physical, took a deep breath, and looked for the problem. The dog was barking again to go outdoors. Oh, shit. All right, so quick recap before we roll out of here. If any of you understood what happened, that is a wild story of Robert Monroe's recounts of these beings, this being called AA and this being, I don't know, BB, were on some kind of TSI cruise and ended up getting sucked into this experience of Earth. And somehow Robert Monroe knows these two people, but we don't know how yet. This shit's crazy, man. Plot twist here, yeah. If you can't finish after 45 years, you should probably see a doctor. Yeah. I'm lost about the fact of who AA and BB are. Yeah, AA and BB are like, I guess they're conscious entities that Robert Monroe, they're like Robert, I'll give you a hint. They're like Robert Monroe's soul buddies that he forgot about in this lifetime of being Robert Monroe. We hadn't got to that part yet, but that's pretty much what's going on. Wouldn't that be crazy? Like, I feel like some of this is totally symbolic, but if that's how the human experience, if that's how it really is outside the human experience, then what the hell are we really afraid of, you know? Bryce, you still with me, or did you pass the hell out?
No, I'm here.
What'd you think? Did you even pick up on any of that? That was weird, wasn't it?
Yeah. It's like going in and out of memories and back and forth and deeper and coming back out. But it was kind of hard to follow.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's just like, yeah.
When you listen to it on audio, it's easier. This is why I tell people to listen to the audiobook, because it's kind of easier to follow. But yeah, I mean, we got this idea of like, oh, it's heaven and hell. It's the demiurge. It's not the demiurge. It's alien experiments. It's this or that. Wouldn't it be trippy if it was like, you know, these conscious entities? We're just on a TSI cruise in this conscious place we call the universe, and we happen to scroll over this M-band noise that people call the human experience. And if you get sucked down into those rings, you become addicted and forget who you are and forget everything. But that's part of the briefing. This is fucking wild, man. I don't know what to say to all that. What means? I don't know what any of this stuff means. You have to qualify to be a human experience. Yeah, he's like, this one dude is like, I'm going to go down there and I'm going to change everything. I'm just going to change it all. And AA was like, yeah, but don't you remember when you go, you have to forget everything. So none of what you're saying now before you become a human is even going to matter, you know? I would choose. That's the bigger question, right? If you had to choose and you could pick, would you choose to be honest with yourself, everyone, would you choose to be a male or female? That's something to think about. If you were going to be in the earth. Did Monroe use hypnosis to surmise his theories? I think these were just part of his out-of-body notes, I think. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, no one's gonna answer that question. No one's gonna say male, female. If you had to pick and you were being really honest, which one would you be? Anyways, y'all can tell me later. Thank you guys for helping getting the station going. If you want to donate to that, just try to donate anything. Well, any way you donate is going to go towards the station, probably for the next week. We're going to get it back up. We're going to do a Halloween special, but we'll be back tomorrow night and we'll broadcast this far journeys. Sudi says female. At least somebody answered, right? Not all the males picking males and the females are picking females. Is everybody really being honest? Not now, y'all. Sweet dreams.